Hello everyone. Now in this lecture we will see self-locking and overloading of a screw. Okay. So these are the two conditions of a power screw. Self-locking is a condition where power screw is get self-locked. Okay. It means that if there is load on a power screw and due to that load the screw will not rotate at downward direction. Okay, that means the load will not propagate in downward direction and screw will not rotate in anti-clockwise direction. Okay, to lift the load power screw is required to rotate by help of handle or any means in clockwise direction. Okay, so after lifting the load and due to that load the power screw will stop. It will not rotate at backward, that is it will not rotate at anti-clockwise direction. It means that this is the condition of self-locking. It means that the screw is get locked, and exactly opposite condition of that self-locking is overhauling. Overhauling of a screw, it means that the screw will rotate backward and load will get automatically in downward direction. It will automatically get descends. Okay, due to its own weight. Okay, it is means that overhauling of a screw. So let's see, self-locking and overhauling of a screw terms are related with the lowering of the load. The effort required to lower the load is equal to, we know that P is equal to W into tan of phi minus alpha. The minus term is for to lower the load, right? And the torque required to lower the load is equal to W into tan of phi minus alpha into Tm by 2. In above equation, if friction angle is less than the helix angle, okay, if friction angle is less than the helix angle, then effort and torque becomes negative. See, the friction angle is less than helix angle. If friction angle is less, then this whole term will become negative. The tan will become negative. So this whole term will become negative, and that's why the torque will become negative. The negative torque required to lower the load, it means that there is the load will get automatically descended without application of any external torque. Okay, the T1 is negative, it means that the torque will be the load will be automatically get descended, and there is the additional torque is required to stop that automatically descending of the load. Okay. So in above equation, if friction angle is less than the helix angle, then the torque will become negative. Therefore load works positively and start moving downward without effort and torque. This condition of screw is called as overhauling of a screw. Okay. In above equation, if friction angle is greater than helix angle, then effort and torque become positive. Therefore the load works positively and effort is required to lower the load. This condition of screw is called as self-locking of a screw. Therefore the load works positively and effort is required to lower the load. When there is an effort required to lower the load, then this condition is called as self-locking of a screw. Okay. Understood? So self-locking and overhauling is depending upon the relation between friction angle and helix angle. Okay. If this condition is satisfied, then overhauling of screw. If this condition is satisfied, then self-locking of a screw. Now we will see efficiency at which the self-locking and overhauling will depend. Okay, the condition will activate. So according to efficiency, in terms of efficiency, we will see. We know that efficiency of screw is equal to tan of alpha upon tan of alpha plus phi. Okay. So efficiency we have seen. Efficiency is the output torque upon input torque, we have seen in previous lecture. Okay. So according to that, only for avoiding the collar friction, the efficiency will be tan of alpha upon tan of alpha plus phi. For self-locking of a screw, phi is greater than or equal to alpha, therefore put alpha is equal to phi. Okay, for a self-locking screw, phi is greater than or equal to alpha, right? Self-locking screw, phi is greater than or equal to alpha, put alpha is equal to phi in this equation. So we will get, after putting alpha is equal to phi, we will get efficiency is equal to tan of phi upon tan of 2 phi. So tan of phi upon tan of 2 phi, tan of 2 phi means 2 tan phi upon 1 minus tan square phi. This is the formula from trigonometry. So tan of 2 phi, putting this formula, we will get tan of phi upon 2 tan of phi. Tan phi gets cancelled, and the denominator of denominator is get into numerator. So 1 minus tan of phi square upon 2. So this is the efficiency. Okay, 1 upon 2 minus tan phi square upon 2. 1 by 2 is the 0.5 minus tan phi square upon 2. This is the efficiency for a power screw. From our equation, it is observed that the self-locking machinery should be, the efficiency should be less than 50%. So when the efficiency is less than 50%, see, the for self-locking machine efficiency should be less than 50%. So according to this formula, if efficiency is less than 50%, then screw is said to be self-locking screw, and efficiency is greater than or equal to 50%, then the screw is called as overhauling screw. Okay, so this is the first condition, this is the second condition to determine whether the screw is in self-locking mode or in overhauling of a mode. Okay. Now we will see design of power jack, design of screw jack. Okay, screw jack is generally used to lift a heavy load. Okay, so there are various forces, various stresses induced in the parts of screw jack, right? In design of screw, the first part is screw, design of screw. Direct compressive stress are induced in the screw due to application of load W. The core diameter of screw can be determined. So this is a stepwise explanation. This is a stepwise design of a screw jack. First, compressive stress is equal to W upon pi by 4 into d square. This is square. This is the core diameter. DC is equal to nominal diameter minus pitch. Okay, we have seen in previous lecture, the starting lecture of power screw. DC is equal to nominal diameter upon minus pitch. Okay, torsional shear stress induced in the screw is 16 into T upon pi DC cube. Okay, this is again formula from strength of material. This is the direct formula. The torque required to rotate the screw is equal to this. Okay, to raise the load. So check whether principal stress is less than the permissible stress for safe dimension of the screw. So tau max is equal to this term 1 by 2 into under root sigma c square plus 4 tau square. Sigma c max is equal to sigma c by 2. Sigma c max is the principal stress. Sigma c by 2 plus 1 by 2 into sigma c square plus 4 tau square. So after designing the screw part, we will see design of nut. Nut is the outer part and screw is the inner part. Okay, so for the outer part, the dimensions are different. Okay, so according to that, on the nut, the bearing pressure is acting. Okay, this is the compressive stress. The thread of nut and screw are engaged to each other, and there is the relative motion between them. Under compressive load, hence nut may fail for bearing pressure. So bearing pressure is equal to W upon pi by 4 into do square minus dc square into n. Okay, n is the number of threads engaged. Okay, so from that equation, number of threads are calculated for particular bearing pressure. Okay, or particular compressive load. H is equal to n into p. P is the pitch, n is the number of threads. So H is the height of nut. Check whether transverse shear stress in screw and nut are less than the permissible shear stress for the safe dimension of nut. So permissible shear stress for a screw, that is tau screw, is equal to W upon area into number of threads, pi dc into t into n, and for a nut is equal to outer area, that is pi into do into t into n. So this is the from that formula, check the transverse shear stress in the screw and nut are less than permissible shear stress. Or now inner diameter d1 fails under tensile stress, sigma t is equal to W upon pi by 4 into t1 square minus do square. Outer diameter d2 fails under crushing stress, which is sigma c is equal to W upon pi by 4 into d2 square minus d1 square. Okay, then this is the for nut collar. Thickness of nut collar T1 fails under shear stress, so tau is equal to W upon pi into D1 into T1. Okay, these all are formula are from this diagram. Okay, this is the collar, this is handle, then this is screw part, nut part, and inner part is screw part, D2, then D1 is given here, D1 this is the diameter, DO is the nominal diameter of screw, this is the core diameter of the screw. Okay, so this part we are designing, only this part, the nut screw. Okay, only nut and screw. Okay, the whole design procedure of screw jack is very lengthy. Okay, these are the various nomenclature for which is used in design of screw jack. So design of lever. Design of lever. Total torque transmitted by the handle is equal to torque is equal to T1 plus T2, which is, we already know that this is the total torque. Torque required to overcome the friction between screw and nut, and torque required to overcome the friction between collar. So the load effort into, that is P into length of handle, is equal to total torque, which is T1 plus T2. T1 is this term, T2 is this term. So handle may fail under bending stress. So for bending stress, moment is equal to P into L, that is pi by 32 into dH cube into sigma p. Okay, so this is the whole, this is the part design of a screw jack, and in our assignment there is one problem of a design of a screw jack. Okay, so after solving this problem you will understand this whole design procedure of screw jack. Okay, so try to solve the problem of a screw jack, and if any problem comes, then contact to me. Then again there is other parts which is not in our syllabus. In next lecture we will see the whole design procedure of a screw jack as per the book V.V. Bhandari book. Okay, as per the reference book from by author V.V. Bhandari. Okay, we will see the whole design procedure in next lecture. Thank you.